Okay, welcome to my Cisco Scaling Network Lab review. In this lab, we're looking at Lab 3312, the Skills Integration Challenge. So you always have to love these because these are the more complex labs. Not that they're super hard, it's just there's a lot more to them. So I have this right here documented off screen, so I can refer back to it fairly easy. And we're going to go ahead and we are going to be doing the requirements. We're going to be configuring R1, R2, S1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to be doing inter VLAN routing. We're going to be doing routing, VLANs, Ether channels, and STP. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm going to start with router 1. I want to do this in Notepad first. I want inter VLAN routing, R1, configure the appropriate encapsulation. So we're going to be doing enable config T. We are doing interface gig 0/0, no shutdown. We are doing gigabit 0/0.1 encap.1q 99 native. That right there is taking care of the native VLAN 99. We're going to be setting up VLANs for 1, 10, 20. So we just did VLAN 1. We want no shut, exit, VLAN 10. So here, that's switch 1, switch 2. Since we're doing the inter VLAN routing on a stick, we're setting up the appropriate VLANs on the stick, or router on a stick. IP address. Oh, before I get ahead of myself. Encap.1q. Doing VLAN 10. IP address 192.168.10.1 with the appropriate subnet mask. We are doing no shut, exit, going back, doing VLAN 20, encap.1q 20, IP address 192.168.20.1. Alright, so let's go back up here. Let's double check. We got that guy. We got that guy. Oh, we did not do that guy. IP address 192.168.99.1. Alright, so we have that guy, we have that guy, we have that guy. We were not told to set up the serial interfaces, so those should be okay. So we have all of that. Next, we need to set up OSPF. No shut. Exit. Router OSPF. We are doing instance 1. Advertise the network for each subinterface. Disable OSPF updates for each subinterface as required. Alright, so passive interface. I'm going to be using this line a lot. "20, 10, and 1. Alright, so that makes those interfaces passive. Next, we want to do our advertisement, so network. Alright, so with the network, we know we're going to have a few common things. That's going to be common in all of our networks. 20, 10, 99.0.0. Oops, that thing in an extra. There we go. Because again, when we do OSPF, we're doing wildcard masks. All of them belong to area 0. Alright, so that right there is all we need for R1. Go through it to make sure everything took, and it did. R1 is complete. Let's go ahead and do R2. The nice thing here is I did this in Notepad because like the interfaces are going to be the same. Gig 0, 10, 20. Double check the IP addresses, make the appropriate modifications. Basically from 99.1 to 99.2, 10.1 to 10.2, 20.1 to 20.2. And again, we've already done the commands we need for router OSPF and everything. Bam. Alright, so router 1 and router 2 are set up. All we have to do is do our switching now. I'm going to do the same thing for our switching. I'm going to go back down to the requirements. So I get everything that I need. Enable, config T. We're creating VLAN 10. VLAN 20. VLAN 99. At least for switch 1, we're doing int range FA0 1 through 9. Switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 10. All we're doing is this part right here. (10 through 19). VLAN 20. Exit. VLAN 20 through 24. And gig 0, 1 through 2. Switch port mode. These are going to be trunks. Alright, so that completes this guy right here. So what we're going to do now is because I'm trying to configure them such a way where I have all the information I need for each device. So we're going to be doing switch 1 right now. Then we'll double check our configuration for switch 2, then go to 3, then go to 4. All right, so next we're going to set up our ether channel. Int range, gig 01 through 2. Int range, FA 21 through 22. Int range, FA 0, 23 through 24. Let's put some space between each of those. All right, so channel group 1 mode active. So 1 will be channel 1. Area port group 1. Port group 3 will be ports 23 and 24. Port group 5 will be 21 and 22. All right, so that part is done. All right, lastly, we need to set up the appropriate switch, the interfaces now. So interface 1, switch port mode trunk. Nice thing here is, again, we're doing 1, 3, and 5 because we just set up 1, 5, and 3. So here we did interface port 1, interface port channel 3, interface port channel 5, switch port mode trunk. I'll exit after each of them. Lastly, we have to make sure that we are making that sure that switch port trunk native VLAN 99 because we are using a different native VLAN. All right, VLAN, configure them to use native VLAN 99. So all of these are done except for spanning tree. Spanning tree will go spanning tree mode rapid PVST. Spanning tree 2 more times. VLAN 10. Priority 4096 as dictated over here. We will do VLAN. So, sorry, I messed up. That's VLAN 10. That's VLAN 20. 8192. Double check. VLAN 10 priority. VLAN 20 priority. All right. That's our configuration for switch 1. We get a few mismatched native VLANs. That is okay. All right, everything looks good. Now let's reconfigure it for switch 2. Again, the port ranges are going to be the same, 1 through 9. And right here, those parts are going to be the same, so we can keep a good portion of this. The appropriate switch ports. That's all good. Switch port, switch port, switch port. Oh, you know, one thing that we did forget to do is right here. Switch port trunk native VLAN 99. So I'm gonna hop back on switch 1. All right, double check our ranges here, because again, we're doing switch 2. We need to use these guys. All right, so gig 1 through 2, we'll use switch port or channel group 2. 21 through 22, we'll use switch port mode 6, and 23, 24 will stay with 3. All right, there we go, switch 1. So we have 2, 6, it didn't really show you very well, but port channel is going to be this guy as well. All right, so again, we're going to be using 2, 3, and 6. 2, 3, and 6, that's all good. Let's double check our priorities for our VLANs. Switch 2. They swap these numbers. VLAN 10 priority 8192. VLAN 20 priority 4096, and that's the case. All right, let's go scroll up through it just to make sure everything looks good. Now let's go down here. We're going to be changing a few things. VLANs 1 through 9 will be VLAN 10. That's true. Here we have 10 through 20, not 10 through 19. That does mean that 21 through 24 and the gigabit will be for these guys. Because notice here, this is 10 through 19, and trunks are 20 through 24. Here we're changing port 20 to go to an access port. And this guy down here will be a new trunk. All right, so we've already done that. We've done access. Let's go back to our int ranges. Gig 1 through 2. We'll use port 1. 21, 22 we'll be using 6. And 23 and 24 will be using 4. Here we go for verification that switch 3 is going to be 21 and 22. All right. So again, we're using 1, 4, and 6. Last, let's verify our spanning tree protocol. Oh, here we're going to be doing equal weights of 327.68. And that's it for switch 3. Do you see why I'm doing this in Notepad? I can quickly make changes, especially when I'm having to do the same configuration over and over and over. Let's do our last switch. Ports should stay the same, trunks should stay the same. The only real difference is going to be these guys right here, and they're going to be using channels 2, 5, and 4. 2, 5, and 4. And again, rapid PVST, priority is the same. All right. So I do believe that I've completed everything as required. Let's check our results. All right, check results, show everything complete. Again, doing it in Notepad makes it a lot easier to be able to do the same tasks over and over, the repetitive tasks, makes it just a little bit easier. If you have any questions, please let me know.